Welcome to the WHHI-TV Daily News. As always, there's a lot to cover in the Lowcountry today. I'm Betsy McDaniel, and let's get started with a few headlines. There is an interesting dynamic happening in South Carolina's technical college system. On the one hand, enrollments are starting to shrink, but on the other hand, one of the reasons is that students enrolled in those tech programs are getting hired before they even finish their educations. Demand for workers with trade skills is contributing to a decrease in full-time enrollment of nearly 25% in the last decade and more than 50% at some schools. Keeping some students in the classroom, however, is that many high schools are now offering an expanded dual enrollment program with the tech schools. At the same time, enrollments at USC and Clemson are both booming, in part because of frozen tuitions at those schools over the last few years. Well, the battle over the state's congressional district maps is back on, with two well-known organizations suing to try and get those maps changed. Though even if they are successful, it would likely not impact the November election. The American Civil Liberties Union and the League of Women Voters are trying to get the 1st District congressional map redrawn from the one that was done after the 2020 census that leaned the 1st District more Republican. A previous state Supreme Court ruling said the redrawn map was okay because it was drawn on a political basis, not a racial one. The new lawsuit says that political redrawing is wrong too, taking away representation from the voters who were moved back into Jim Clyburn's district from Nancy Mace's. The Republican state legislatures who are named in the suit and who led the original drawing of the map admit they did it on political grounds, saying it would have been political malpractice to not protect their 6-1 congressional margin. Democrat Joe Cunningham did win the 1st District in 2018 before the redrawing of the maps. 53-year-old Akiba Kasale Meredith has been charged with stabbing a 47-year-old man to death within the Oyatunji African village off U.S. Highway 17 in Sheldon in northern Beaufort County. The man she stabbed has now been identified as Oba Adejubi Afundmi II, the leader of the village, who also happens to be her brother. The two were involved in a heated argument when the stabbing occurred Monday afternoon. The village emulates villages in Nigeria, and its current population is believed to consist of fewer than 10 families after being home to more than 200 people in the late 1970s. Those impressive fight scenes in the original Top Gun movie may soon be replicated over the Lowcountry, though the maneuvers will likely be out of sight. F-59 Tiger II fighter jets have arrived at MCAS Beaufort this summer in what is being called an adversary squadron that will battle the F-35s stationed here. They will be training for the next high fights with real foreign enemies, matching a similar training operation on the West Coast. And one of the first things we learned about alligators in the Lowcountry is that they are primarily freshwater creatures. So finding one washed ashore on Hilton Head's beach is certainly a rarity. But a 6-foot gator carcass drew a crowd on the beach late Monday afternoon just north of Coligny. The island sea turtle expert Amber Kuhn says the circumstances that brought the gator into the ocean and then on shore are a mystery. The gator was eventually buried in the nearby sands by lifeguards. The media sources on your screen will have more on these and other stories, and we would love for you to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram at WHHI-TV. And if you have an idea for a news story, we'd love to hear it, so drop us a line at news@WHHITV.com. And now let's take a look at our weather that's sponsored by Lowcountry Crawl Spaces with Maria Soden.
Thanks, Betsy. Yep, so taking a look ahead, we are going to see more showers and thunderstorms scattered throughout our region throughout the rest of this week, and it's supposed to be getting a little warmer as we get into the weekend. So taking a look at Thursday, it's going to be sunny to partly cloudy with an afternoon thunderstorm and then a couple more later in the evening. Hilton is going to have a high 93, a low of 78. Bluffton's going to have a high 95, a low of 76, and Beaufort's going to have a high 95 and a low of 77. The sunrise for Thursday is at 6:37 and sunset's going to be at 8:20. Taking a look at the tides. Low tides can be at 2:29 p.m. and high tides be at 8:03 p.m. Taking a look into the rest of the week and into the weekend, Friday's will be partly cloudy with an afternoon thunderstorm and then another one later in the evening. Highs will be in the low 90s, lows in the 70s. Then come Saturday, it's will be partly cloudy with scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout the afternoon and continuing on into the evening. Highs in the 90s, lows in the 80s. And then come Sunday, we're going to see scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout the day, but it should be clearing up by the evening. Highs will be in the low 90s, lows in the upper 70s. That's it for your Lowcountry Crawl Spaces weather. Let's head it back to the desk.
Thanks, Maria. Coming up after a quick break, we're going to chat with Wendy Cummings, the school nurse, to talk about how to be healthy with back to school. Don't go away.